Hey guys, welcome back to my personal YouTube channel, Craig Davis 87. So today I thought I would do a little bit of a fun video, and I thought, I run like a YouTube channel, I run a horror channel, but what if I do a top 10 list of all of my favorite TV shows? So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Now, the TV shows that I'm gonna be taking a look back on, some TV shows are no longer around and some TV shows are still airing. So I actually really struggled to put like 10 together because I've got more than 10 favorite TV shows, but I think I've got it just about right for my top 10. So let's jump straight in. At number 10 is Sugar Rush. Now this was a TV program that was on Channel 4. I can remember, how old was I then? I think I was probably in my mid-teens. And it was like sort of like a coming of age drama comedy and about a girl who falls in love with her best friend. So you got Kim, who's the girl who is, secret lesbian who's in love with her best friend Sugar. And there's 2 seasons. I'm really gutted that there wasn't a season 3, but what I loved about this show is that it was so ahead of its time. Now the TV show is set in Brighton, and obviously season 1 concentrates more on Kim just being in love with her best friend, and basically has this massive crush on her and daydreams about making out with her one day. But I've always preferred season 2. I always thought season 2 was way better than season 1 because the truth is all out in season 2, and Kim comes out as a full lesbian, proud lesbian, and then she starts going like gay clubbing, and she meets a DJ, and she has a girlfriend. Sugar, she's in prison for something that happened at the end of season 1, and Kimmy goes in to see her for the first couple of episodes, and it's just absolutely hilarious. And Kim's parents as well, they are a pair of oddballs. You got the geeky dad who isn't really into sex much, and then you got the mother who was literally a nymphomaniac, and she's sleeping with the neighbors, and eventually they go swinging, and it's just so funny. It's a really feel-good show. It has its serious moments within the program, and like I said, I'm really gutted that there wasn't a season 3. I'd love for this show to come back. At number 9, and it's Footballers' Wives. Now this is a show that I really think needs to come back. Once again, I think this was very groundbreaking for its time. So basically it says it's what it says on the tin, Footballers' Wives. So it follows the wives of these football players. It follows the football players as well, and they get into some like crazy situations, crazy storylines, but you can't stop watching, and it's got a lot of sex scenes in there. We actually rewatched it recently, me and Peter, and even by today's standards, some of those sex scenes are more graphic than some of the stuff you get on TV these days. God's honest truth. It's got a good mix of characters on there. You'll recognize a lot of them have moved on to like soap operas and so forth. And yeah, I just loved Footballers' Wives. It probably was trashy TV at its finest, dramatic, always ended on cliffhangers at the end of each season. It was just brilliant, and they seriously need to bring this one back. At number 8, and it's Netflix's You. Now I only recently watched this show earlier this year. I did actually see season 1 a couple of years ago, but I never watched season 2 when it was released. So this year, me and Peter binge watched season 1, 2 and 3, and my god, it was brilliant. In fact, season 2 was like so much better than season 1. I was quite shocked how much it improved, because I loved season 1, don't get me wrong, but season 2 I definitely think is my favorite season out of the 3. Now there is going to be a season 4. I believe they're filming right now, and what's her name from EastEnders? Louise Mitchell, the girl who played Louise Mitchell in EastEnders, is going to be a character in You. So excited to see it. Season 3 ended on a massive cliffhanger. This TV show obviously follows Joe, who ends up becoming a serial killer. There are so many twists and turns, and the murder scenes are extremely brutal. You then have your tender moment scenes, you have your sexy scenes, it has everything. So if you're really into your serial killer TV programs, then you definitely need to give You a watch. At number 7, and it's Gogglebox. Now this is the UK version of Gogglebox, because I've only ever really seen the UK version. I've seen clips of the Australian one, but Gogglebox UK, even the celebrity version, I absolutely love. I watch it every single Friday night. I even go back and watch old ones when we're waiting for the next season. I just love it. We're basically watching people watch TV shows and give their reviews and opinions, but some of the things that they come out with are just so hilarious. They're very relatable, these people, and it just makes me feel great when I watch it. I've got it on record and I never ever miss an episode. Absolutely brilliant. I hope it never ends. I hope it continues on forever. And number 6, and it's Gavin and Stacey. Now, I have a confession to make. I was really late to the party on this one, even though it's set in Wales, specifically Barry Island, which is just down the road for me and Peter. Now, I ended up watching this by accident. I think Peter was in the bath. This must have been just over a year ago now, because we were still in the flat, and episode 1 of Gavin and Stacey just happened to be on, and I was kind of playing on my phone, but also like looking up and listening and kind of catching bits of episode 1. In the end, I was like, this is amazing. So I went in the bath then when episode 1 had finished, and as soon as I came out, Peter said that you can watch all of the episodes of Gavin and Stacey on the BBC iPlayer. So that's what we did. We went to bed early that night, but I watched the whole of season 1 of Gavin and Stacey. By the next day, I'd watched all of season 2, and I just ended up binge watching it, and I absolutely flipping love it. Why I didn't watch it back in the day, I have no idea. I'm one of those people that is sometimes late to the party with TV shows, and unfortunately that was the case for Gavin and Stacey. On the plus side, because I binge watched all of them, including those 2 Christmas specials, I didn't have to wait like a year for the next season to come out. And obviously at the end of season 3 and the second Christmas special, there was a long gap. So I'm very fortunate to have been able to binge watch them all. I'm still interested to know what happened on that fishing trip. At number 5 is the comedy show Benidorm. I absolutely freaking loved this TV show. Now, this is another TV show that is no longer with us. However, it did have a very good run. It had 10 seasons in total. I think it started in 2007. Now, I remember seeing bits of season 1, but I was a little bit younger back then, and it wasn't my cup of tea initially. And then one Christmas, my mum decided to buy me the box set of the first 4 seasons of Benidorm for Christmas, just as a present. I've never shown any interest of wanting to see this TV show, but she got it for me. And I remember, I think I was off for like a week over Christmas, so I had like some spare time, and I ended up watching the box set, and I ended up falling in love with it. I think once I got past to the end of season 1 and watched them all back to back, I was like, oh, this is brilliant. And as seasons went on, they got even better and better. Arguably, I know a lot of people say that the last couple of seasons of Benidorm were as good as the early ones. However, I loved them. I absolutely loved all of them. I don't care how ridiculous it was getting. I don't care that we had new characters. Of course, I missed the Garvey family, but I just loved Benidorm. It always used to come on around January, February, March. It used to bring a bit of splash of sunshine into your living rooms in the tail end of winter. And yeah, I'm gutted that it's gone. Hopefully that might come back one day as well. At number 4 is Prisoner Cell Block H. Now, this is a very, very old TV show set in Australia. Came out in the late 70s, and I can remember my parents used to watch this on ITV. They used to have to record it because I think it was on quite late in the evening, so they would watch it like the following evening, but at like maybe 8 o'clock or whatever. And I can vaguely remember, I was that young, but I can still remember bits of Prisoner at that age. I can remember there would be times where I would sort of sit on my dad's knee and cuddle him to fall asleep, but I would be like resting my head and watching the TV, and my dad would think I'm going to sleep before taking me up to bed, but I'd actually be watching bits of Prisoner. So I always have fond memories of this when I was much younger. And then Prisoner returned a few years later on Channel 5, and I was a teenager then, a little bit older, and I ended up I used to record them on videotape back then and watch them the next morning with my mother. So that's how I became a massive fan of Prisoner Cell Block H, and I've never looked back. I've rewatched episodes 1 to 692 probably about 10 to 12 times over the last 15-20 years. I used to watch them with my mother all the time, from 1 to 692. I've done it with Peter, I've done it with other people. I just love Prisoner. It will never get old, and I can even tell you what happens. If somebody says an episode number, I can tell you everything that happens in one of those episodes. Crazy. Number 3 is EastEnders. Now, I love all of the soaps. I'm not very keen on Emmerdale, I'll be honest with you, but I like Corrie, but I love EastEnders, always have done. I think EastEnders was the first soap opera that I really got into, so when I was like maybe old enough to still be awake at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, I used to watch EastEnders with my family, and I can always remember it was around about the Grant Mitchell and Tiffany years when they got together and things went very messy, and then Tiffany died in 1998. So yeah, it's from like around 1996, 1997 when I started watching EastEnders with my family. And back then, I remember EastEnders was on 3 times a week. It was only on Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I always used to think, I always remember like at the end of Tuesday night's episode, it would always end on a cliffhanger, and I'd be like, oh, I've got to wait till Thursday now. But yeah, I absolutely love EastEnders. I love everything that it stands for. I love the characters. I know there's people who dip in and out of it. Some people fall out of love with soaps and so forth. I suppose that's me and Emmerdale. I used to really like Emmerdale, but don't like it anymore. I think it's gotten a bit boring. But EastEnders will always be my #1 spot. I just love it, love it, love it. I love the Christmas episodes. They always go all out. They sometimes go all out for like, you know, Good Friday, like Easter's, and they do big episodes on Halloween. They're just brilliant, and I will never get sick of EastEnders. #2 is Bad Girls. Now this was the UK prison drama show on ITV, and this is bloody brilliant. And again, it's a shame that this one came to an end, because I always remember they were planning on filming a series 9, but they made it clear that series 9 was going to be the final season, and they were going to be bringing Denny Blood back. However, ITV pulled the plug when season 8 finished. Before we even got to see the Christmas special a few months later, when season 8 finished in the summer of 2006, I think it was, ITV pulled the plug due to viewing figures. But I can remember Bad Girls as like season 7 and season 8. They were being shown on ITV in the summertime, like July and August, and it's like, of course the viewing figures are going to be down. Not many people watch much dramas and TV back then in the summer. These days you can record everything on your box, but you know, it just really annoys me that ITV pulled the plug when we could have had one more final season. But yeah, absolutely love this TV show. Like, if anyone who knows me, I love prison dramas, particularly female prison dramas. And Bad Girls is up there as one of the best. And I know there are talks and rumours that they are really trying to bring Bad Girls back. So I'm seriously keeping my fingers crossed. And at #1, you might have guessed it, is Wentworth, or Wentworth Prison if you watch it in the UK. Now, this is the best prison show, any TV show in the world, fact. It's absolutely flipping outstanding. So yeah, a female prison drama. It's based on Prisoner, but it's kind of a little bit like a prequel and a reimagination of Prisoner. So you got different actresses playing the same characters. So you got B. Smith, who is played by Danielle Cormack, but this story is about Bea when she first comes into prison and how she becomes top dog. Whereas in Prisoner, she was already top dog and she was already established in the prison. So it takes a different take. There's a lot of different twists and turns, and it's just the perfect TV show ever. It's so dramatic. There's shocks, there's twists, there's brilliant writing, brilliant acting. I think it's Australia's best TV show in the world. I know there'll be a lot of Prisoner fans who prefer Prisoner over Wentworth who will disagree with me. That's completely fine. But in my opinion, Wentworth is seriously the best. Anyone who's never seen Wentworth, like my friends and Peter had never seen it, I always get them to watch it, and literally after about 3 episodes of season 1, they are hooked. They are hooked until the very end, and they love it as well. When I first met Peter, the first 7 seasons had aired, so I was waiting for season 8 to begin. So when I was with Peter, we binge watched seasons 1 to 7, and it was so amazing to re-watch a show that I've already seen but Peter hadn't. And I knew the big episodes that would come up, but I knew the big scenes and the big death scenes, and it was so brilliant to be able to see Peter's reaction on certain episodes and certain storylines and certain deaths. It was just absolutely brilliant. I wish I'd filmed some of his reactions, but yeah. Wentworth wins hands down. Okay guys, well that was my top 10 TV shows of all time, so let me know in the comments box below, do you agree with my list? Is there anything on this list that you would love to see back on TV? Let me know guys, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions. And if you're still here guys, then thank you all for sticking around until the end of the video. Please make sure you smash that subscribe button, stay safe out there, and I'll see you all again very soon.